What is the role of a booktuber? Somebody who has a YouTube channel, who discusses books. Is there a role they can or should play? That's what we're going to explore today, because it's Tuesday. It's Tag Tuesday. Hello, my fellow readers. My name is Greg. This is Ghost Readers in the Sky. This tag was created by Allison Annotated. I was tagged by both Gavin at Genre Books and Pat, Book Chat with Pat. There's 7 prompts. The first one is, how do you view your role as a booktuber? Examples might be as a critic, a curator, an influencer, an entertainer, an educator, etc. I think I wear each of these hats at some point. There are some things that I read and present where education is an important part of it, especially when I think of the cowboy poetry that I'm doing. So few people know even the most famous cowboy poets. So an important part of my role, where I see myself being valuable, is talking about these poets and their works, and really introducing people to this small subset of poetry that I enjoy so much. I certainly enjoy being entertaining. I never let a good pun go to waste. I try to tell some jokes, try to make people laugh. If I can incorporate that into my discussion of books, all the better. A curator, definitely. We all know there are far too many books for anyone to read in a lifetime. And so we are choosing what to read, and that curation that each of us do can then have an influence on other people who watch the channel. I'm curating a list of books that really mean something to me. They're my favorites. A lot of them are back here, These are a lot of my favorite books back here. I'm just a guy who likes talking about books. And if every once in a while I become a critic, I'll accept that. Prompt 2, do you have any educational background in literature or literary criticism, either formal or self-directed? And if you are comfortable sharing, do you have any other education or professional experience that you bring to bear on your reviews? Well, I think that any kind of formal or informal self-directed education, any place where you have developed some bit of expertise, you bring that to bear. I think you bring that in when you talk about books. My college degrees are in music theory and composition and American history. And so I think that there's just being an artist, being somebody who has written a little bit of music and who has played a whole lot of music. And I think that helps me understand what a book is trying to do, what a writer's trying to do. My other degree is in history, specifically America in the Gilded Age, 1890s primarily, which ties in very much with my interest in the American West and the Western as a genre and just writing about the West, the frontier, those kinds of adventures. I certainly bring my understanding of the history of America and the American West in the late 19th century. That certainly comes into play. Now, formal literary criticism, but who's teaching criticism? I don't know. I don't think it's a separate discipline in academic circles. I could be wrong about that, but it's just not something I've heard of. If you're studying literature, you're going to get some ideas of theories of criticism, from reader response to deconstruction and everything in between. But I don't think very many people are trained in literary criticism. You just end up, because of what you do, because of the jobs you have or the hobbies you have, you practice and you learn it. Number 3, do you typically do any research on either the book or the author before you review a book? Well, I'm going to say that before I start reading a book, I at least want to know some very simple things about it. When was it written? Where was it written? Those are kind of the 2 things to me that matter the most. Because if you try to read, for example, Chaucer as if it was written in America in 2026, it's not going to make any sense. Number 4, do you focus your reviews more on the objective qualities of a book or more on your subjective opinions about it? I think a book review that focuses on the objective parts of a book is boring as hell. What's objective about a book? Take a book. Here's one that I reviewed recently. Cormac McCarthy's All the Pretty Horses. What's objective about this book? Well, it's a book. It's called All the Pretty Horses. It was written by Cormac McCarthy. It was published by Alfred A. Knopf in 1992. This edition was published by Vintage in 1993. It won this award, the National Book Award. That's what I was thinking. Won a National Book Award. It has 301 pages or whatever. Those are the things that are objective, that have nothing to do with anybody's mind. They are going to exist. It doesn't even matter if you've read the book or not. Those are facts, objective facts about the book. Who cares? Nobody cares. You need that as a very, very small part, but it's a tiny bit, very tiny bit of the review. The subjective part is what's interesting, because when I interact with a book, when I interact with an author's words, I'm going to draw in my own experience. I'm going to draw in other books that I've read. I'm going to draw in other knowledge that I've accumulated over the years. I'm going to bring in so much personal experience, and that's what makes it interesting. So I can talk about All the Pretty Horses in the context of the Western genre. I can talk about it as historical fiction set in the border country between America and Mexico in the 1940s. I can show how that matters to me. I can talk about the way Cormac McCarthy writes about horses and how interesting that is to me. All of those things coming together, and then talking about the characters and the plot and how those impacted me, helps other people understand how it might impact them, or how closely they're aligned, or maybe how foreign it would be. But it lets them have a chance to say, I think I would like this book, or yeah, that doesn't sound like a thing for me. But it's all because it's subjective. When it comes to art, no one cares about objectivity. Prompt 5, have you ever received a free book or advanced reader copy from the author? And if so, did it have any impact on your ability to honestly review the book or on how you felt about it? Since I've been on BookTube, this has only happened once. I did receive, and this was from the publisher, and it is an arc of this book. The Bright Edges of the World, Willa Cather and Her Archbishop. It's written by Garrett Peck, and this came from the University of New Mexico Press. And this book is about Santa Fe and the landmarks that Willa Cather used in Death Comes for the Archbishop, and how Willa Cather used the landscape of Santa Fe and the surrounding areas as she created this book. I haven't read this yet, but when I do read it, and I will, because I love Death Comes for the Archbishop, I will. It doesn't matter that I got it free. It doesn't matter that I was contacted by the publisher. None of that matters to me. I'm going to judge the content of the book using my own subjective values, comparing it to what I know about Willa Cather and what I know about Death Comes for the Archbishop, what I know about New Mexico, both from having spent a little bit of time there, but from reading a lot of stories that took place in New Mexico. Prompt 6. Do you review every book you read? Are there any reasons that you might read a book but choose not to review it? I've been recording this video for 45 minutes. I'm not proud or tired. Prompt 7. How do you feel about the fact that many people now primarily consume book reviews by hobbyists on BookTube rather than professional critics? What is lost and what is gained? I think we gain more than we lose. If someone is being honest about their response to a book and not just repeating marketing hype, and those people are easy to filter out of your viewing time, of what you choose to watch and who you choose to be influenced by. But people who are doing honest reviews that reflect their own background and their own subjective feelings, those are useful. And when we have more of them, it gives you more angles to think about something. It gives you more perspective. It gives you a wider range of this really worked for me, or this is just kind of meh. All the way up to, wow, I wish I hadn't read this book at all. But mostly it's people talking about why they like a book, and people like books for very different reasons. Some of those reasons are going to appeal to me as a viewer, as a listener. Some of them are not. Interesting. It takes more work on my part to sort through and filter out who I want to listen to, who I want as my own sphere of reviewers, who I pay the most attention to. And I find that better than relying on, I don't know, a Harold Bloom, for example. Obviously, this tag brought up a lot of ideas that I had bouncing around in my head that I wanted to share. I recorded this for a long time. I'm going to pare it down. But I have enjoyed doing this tag. I have enjoyed thinking about these prompts. I've enjoyed watching other people answer these prompts. I think this is a good thinking exercise that is worth doing. So thank you to Allison for putting this tag together. Thanks to Gavin and Pat for tagging me. So until next time, my name is Greg. This is Ghost Readers in the Sky.
Yippee-yi-yi.